Hello everyone! Welcome back again to my channel. This is Nurse Annie again, and to those of you who are new here, welcome and thank you for tuning in. And as always, this channel is all about my nursing life, my nursing adventures, my American dream, and everything in between those. So if you are new here and haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and let's connect. Okay, so our topic for today is all about how can we survive night shift. Does that ring a bell for you too? Is that also your problem? Anyway, of course, I know that night shift is not for everybody, but for me personally, I have been on night shift since I started working here in the US. So I'm confident enough to give you tips and advices. How can we ever survive graveyard shifts, especially if we are working 3 or 4 days in a row, isn't it? But of course, before everything, guys, again, as usual, as a disclaimer, everything that I will be sharing with you today is just basing on my experiences and everything that I know. So it's not like I took it from books or anything like that, okay? So just bear that in mind. So if you are interested on this topic, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first advice that I will be sharing with you is regarding developing a sleeping habit. I think if you are working night shift like me, it's really important to develop a sleeping habit that works, that works best for you. Like for me personally, what I do is I don't really sleep the whole night before my shift because I work only weekend shift. That means my son doesn't need to go to school the next day. So perhaps I will just take a nap, maybe 3 or 4 hours in the evening. By that time though, also I will be bringing my son to sleep. So at least I will be, let's say I will be bringing him to sleep at 8 o'clock. So I will sleep with him by then until 12 midnight or 1 o'clock. Then I will get up again and do something, I will just keep myself busy just so I won't be sleeping the whole night. Otherwise, I won't be able to take another nap in the daytime. Because about 10 or 11 o'clock, my son will be awake, or earlier than that even. So I have to be awake as well, isn't it? Because I have to prepare him his breakfast. I have to, those things. If you are a mom like me, then you can understand. But I mean, I just have to take a few hours nap in the evening, maybe until 12 or 1 o'clock, then wake up, do some things. I will just keep myself busy, and I will just go back to sleep by 5 or 6 o'clock. So by 9 or 10 o'clock, my son would be awake. So that means mom would be awake as well, isn't it? So by then, I would be a very busy mom with my son until 2 or 3 o'clock. Then I'll go back to sleep again. At least I will take few hours again of nap, and then I'd be awake again by 5 o'clock. What I do sounds really unorganized, but that's what really works for me, and I have been doing it for more than 6 years. So that means if it works for me, then it might also work for you. But what I mean is just develop a sleeping habit that really works for you and your lifestyle, If you don't have kids, maybe you have some other things to do in life, you know what I mean. But the point is just develop a sleeping habit that really works for you, that you can sleep, you can rest well before you can go to work, isn't it? So you can survive night shift. Okay, so next tip I will be giving you is if you have already developed a sleeping habit, but how can you sleep better? I mean, how would you make sure that if you go to sleep, you will be sleeping soundly and not, staying in bed wide awake the whole time? So one advice I can give you is using a blackout curtain. I will show you mine so you can have an idea how good it is to use a blackout curtain just so you can sleep better. Okay, as you can see, I'm sorry my room is just so messy, but that's a blackout curtain. Let me show you. The light is on, but if I will turn it off, it would be like that. See, just a glimpse of light coming out from the window. But at least it's dark enough in the room. Of course, the door is open. If you will close that, it would be dark. See? That dark. If you can understand what I mean. So if you won't be using a blackout curtain, that means, oh gosh, that's a lot of light, which would make you not to sleep better, isn't it? So that's what I mean. Just use a blackout curtain. It will really block out the light coming from outside or anything, you know. Okay, so you have seen an example. So just use a blackout curtain, you know, just so it will block all the light coming from outside, so you can be able to sleep better, isn't it? Blackout curtains are, you can just buy that everywhere. In Walmart, it costs maybe less than $20 or less than $30 a pair. So that's just nothing compared to the sound sleep that you will be getting, right? So that's one advice. Another way that you can do to be able to sleep better is using an eye shield or a sleeping mask, or those things that you put in your eyes if you sleep, isn't it? Those are definitely things that are a great way to achieve that deep sleep that you want. Actually, according to the Division of Sleep Medicine, those sleeping masks definitely improve sleep. It will make you fall asleep quicker. It will block all those harmful lights that's coming from your window, or anything that has a glare in your room, like your clocks, your cell phones, your televisions if you have one in your room. So that definitely is another thing to consider, isn't it? And of course, it also promotes relaxation, actually, according to the Division of Sleep Medicine, being that the deep pressure that it creates in your eyes stimulates the release of serotonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. Oh, isn't it? So that's another positive indicator that you have to go and buy one sleeping mask for you, if that really is a thing that interests you, so that you can improve your sleep at least, isn't it? So the third advice I will be giving you is all about eating habits. So this tip actually also depends on your self-discipline, the timing of your eating, and what you actually eat affects your sleeping onset and your sleep quality, definitely. So what I actually do is I avoid eating large meals or heavy meals before bedtime. Has your ads told you also about not going to bed with a full stomach? I don't know about you, but I remember that our ads used to tell us that don't go to sleep with full stomach. It is because eating heavy meals before bedtime actually takes longer to digest. You know, heavy meals takes longer to digest, and that creates discomfort in your belly. Of course, lying down with a full stomach creates discomfort, and of course, definitely will affect your sleep, isn't it? If you used to eat heavy meals before bedtime, then perhaps you can change it to light snack. It can do the job, isn't it? But don't also go to bed with an empty stomach either. That's also not a good idea. And another thing is avoid drinking too much water before bedtime. That makes you pee more. Every now and then you will just be going to the bathroom. Then of course your sleep will be disturbed. Another thing you can do is avoid consuming too much sugar before bedtime or close to bedtime. Like chocolates, you know. We all know that chocolates contain caffeine, which of course we also know that makes us awake. Caffeine makes us awake. So that leads me to my next advice. The fourth advice is, how can you keep yourself awake at work, isn't it? So of course, number one advice would be, perhaps we all know, drink coffee. I think I don't need to elaborate this because I'm sure many of us, or maybe most of us, all of us do this. This is just our, sometimes it's only our resort to keep us awake all night on our shift, isn't it? It's like we cannot just start our shift without drinking coffee or without a coffee in our hand, isn't it? Perhaps this is the only resort that we have to keep ourselves awake during during the shift. So if you are with me here, say yes in the comment. I would also love to know what you think about this. For me, what I do actually is before I will go to work, I will just take a cup of coffee. And in the middle of the shift, like 1 or 2 o'clock, I will drink another cup of coffee. That, of course, makes me survive the 12-hour shift. And of course, another thing you can do at work is walk around. Of course, sitting down for a long time makes you really sleepy, isn't it? Of course, you can relate. I think everybody would relate with me here that just sitting down there would really make you sleep. Just looking at your phone. So, of course, what we usually do, and I'm sure most of us or maybe all of us do, is just walk around the unit so we can, keep ourselves awake during the shift. And of course, the last but not the least tip I can advise you is develop some form of relaxation or exercise that works best for you. It's always good to develop some form of relaxation or exercise because it will definitely improve our mood and boost our energy, which we need during night shift, especially during night shift, isn't it? Our body will eventually adapt to our lifestyles, our schedules, that being night shift. So it's like we will always feel like we have that energy if we have to be awake. And of course, we will slow down a little bit if our body needs to relax or to rest, isn't it? So developing a relaxation or exercise routine will not only be advantageous to you surviving your night shift, but also not to mention what it does to our overall health and well-being, isn't it? So there you go, friends, with my tips and advices on how we can survive graveyard shift or night shift to those nurses who are working night shifts like me. Knowing ourselves and adjusting to the demands of our job definitely takes a toll sometimes. So we can just develop some things that will help us sleep better and eventually will help us survive night shift. And of course, asking help from the people around you, especially your family members, can also be a good idea, isn't it? So that we can all survive the night shift or the graveyard shift that others dread, isn't it? Because it's not only us. It will not only affect us, but of course the quality of our time with our family or the people around us, isn't it? So there you go, guys. I hope you have learned a thing or two on this video. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like and share button. And of course, anything that you want to add or you want to share, you can put them in the comments below. And of course, to those of you who are new here and hasn't yet subscribed, again, please do hit that subscribe button and let's connect. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you again on my next video. Bye-bye!